Welcome back to another episode of Bestowal Talks, where real conversations meet real transformation. In every episode, we dive deep into the systems, strategies, and stories that are shaping the future of business and technology. Today's topic is something every planner, consultant, and decision maker needs to understand, because forecasting doesn't fail due to models. It fails due to data. And that's exactly what we're exploring today. How proper data cleansing in SAP IBP can make or break your demand planning accuracy. From missing values to outliers, from IQR methods to business-driven corrections, we're taking you behind the scenes into how real planners and consultants fix real-world data challenges. So, buckle up. This is more than a conversation. It's a masterclass. Let's get started. Mindar, thanks for joining. We've been reviewing our forecast accuracy issues, and it's becoming clear that poor historical demand quality is a major contributor. I want to specifically understand how SAP IBP helps with data cleansing, especially missing values and outliers, because planners are currently fixing these manually.
Thanks, Aditi. You're addressing exactly the right problem. In SAP IBP demand planning, data cleansing is not optional. It directly impacts how statistical models behave. Today, we can focus on two core areas: substituting missing values and outlier detection and correction using the IQR method.
Let's start with missing values. From a business point of view, we see zeros or blanks in historical demand. Are both treated the same way in IBP?
That's a great question and a common misunderstanding. Technically, both zeros and blanks can be treated as missing values, but business meaning matters. A true zero means there was genuinely no demand. A missing value often means demand existed but was not recorded, due to stockouts, data load failures, or system issues. SAP IBP doesn't automatically know the difference. This distinction must come from business rules.
So, if we blindly treat all zeros as missing, that could distort demand?
Exactly. Overcorrecting can be just as harmful as not correcting at all.
What substitution options do we realistically have in SAP IBP?
For missing values, the most commonly used and supported approaches are 1. Substitution with mean. 2. Substitution with median. 3. Substitution with a given value. Each has a specific use case, and none should be applied blindly.
Let's talk about using the mean. That sounds straightforward. Why wouldn't we always use it?
Using the mean is simple and often effective when demand is stable, normally distributed, not heavily impacted by promotions or spikes. For example, if weekly demand is usually around 100 units and 1 week is missing, replacing it with the mean preserves the overall level.
But what if there are outliers in the history?
That's the key risk. The mean is sensitive to extreme values. If historical demand contains spikes, the mean can be inflated, leading to overestimated substituted demand.
So, is median safer?
In many real-world demand scenarios, yes. The median represents the middle value and is robust against outliers.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Suppose historical demand is 80, 85, 90, 95, 300. The mean is much higher due to the spike, but the median still reflects normal demand behavior.
So, for volatile or promotion-heavy products, median substitution is better?
Exactly. Median-based substitution is often preferred when demand is skewed or irregular.
What about substituting with a given value? That sounds very manual.
It is more controlled, but it has valid use cases. A given value is typically used when business knows a baseline demand. New products have contractual minimums. Regulatory or service level commitments exist. For example, if a product must sell at least 50 units per week, substituting missing demand with 50 makes sense.
But this doesn't reflect actual variation, right?
Correct. Given values are rule-driven, not statistically derived. They should be used sparingly and reviewed regularly.
Some planners feel substitution is making up numbers. How do we address that concern?
That's a very common concern. Substitution is not about inventing demand. It's about restoring the demand signal that was lost due to operational issues. Without substitution, forecasts learn from incorrect history, which is far worse.
That makes sense. Let's move to outliers. How does SAP IBP detect them?
SAP IBP supports multiple methods, but the interquartile range method is one of the most reliable for demand planning.
Can you explain IQR in practical terms? Some planners find it too statistical.
Of course, the IQR method looks at the middle 50% of historical demand. Values significantly above or below that range are flagged as outliers. It doesn't assume normal distribution, which is why it works well for real demand patterns.
So it's better than standard deviation for volatile demand?
In most planning scenarios, yes, standard deviation often overreacts to spikes.
Once IBP flags an outlier using IQR, does it automatically correct it?
No, and that's intentional. Detection and correction are separate steps. IBP flags outliers, but business rules determine what to do next.
Let's talk about correction using the mean.
When correcting outliers with the mean, the extreme value is replaced with the average of surrounding or historical values. This works well when the outlier is clearly an error. Demand is otherwise stable.
But doesn't this flatten demand?
It can, if overused. That's why mean correction should be applied only to clearly invalid spikes, not real business events.
What about using the median for correction?
Median-based correction is safer when demand is skewed. There are multiple spikes, promotions exist. Replacing outliers with the median preserves typical demand without being influenced by extremes.
So median is generally preferred?
In many cases, yes, but context still matters.
You also mentioned tolerance-based correction. What does that mean?
Tolerance-based correction means allowing demand to fluctuate within a defined range, only correcting values that exceed that tolerance. For example, demand within plus certain 30% of normal might be accepted, while anything beyond is capped.
So this avoids overcorrecting natural variability.
Exactly. Tolerance-based methods strike a balance between control and flexibility.
Some planners argue that all outliers should be removed for clean forecasts.
That's a risky approach. Not all outliers are bad. Some represent promotions, market shifts, new customer wins. Removing them blindly can suppress real demand signals.
Should missing values be handled before or after outliers?
Always missing values first. Missing data can distort averages and quartiles, leading to incorrect outlier detection.
What sequence do you recommend overall?
Best practices: 1. Validate master data. 2. Substitute missing values, mean, median, or given value. 3. Detect outliers using IQR. 4. Apply correction, mean, median, or tolerance. 5. Planner review and approval.
How do we know this is working?
You'll see. Improved forecast accuracy, reduced bias, fewer manual overrides, greater planner confidence. When planners trust the baseline forecast, cleansing is effective.
This discussion really clarified the logic behind missing value substitution and IQR-based outlier correction. It feels more structured than what we're doing today.
That's the goal. In SAP IBP demand planning, data cleansing is about discipline, not perfection. When done correctly, it allows planners to focus on decisions, not data repair.
Our next step should be defining rules and governance.
Exactly. With the right framework, data cleansing becomes a strategic advantage rather than a recurring problem.
That brings us to the end of today's Bestowal Talks episode. If there's one message to carry forward, it's this. Forecasting is only as strong as the data you feed it. And mastering data cleansing isn't just a technical skill, it's a competitive advantage. Whether it's missing value substitution, correcting outliers, or applying business rules through SAP IBP, every step helps planners move from firefighting to true decision-making. And as always, if you need help transforming your planning process or implementing SAP IBP the right way, our consultants at Bestowal are always there to guide you through your transformation journey. Thank you for joining us. Stay curious, stay innovative, and we'll see you in the next episode of Bestowal Talks.